So, good evening, ladies and gents. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Do let me know via Twitch chat and on Twitter if you can't, if there's anything you want adjusted accordingly. But we are ready, well, almost ready to get underway into the battlefield for EMS One Cup number 4. Now, obviously I wasn't here for the last one, but I am joined by someone who was, and I'm hoping to get a little bit of insight from the man himself. How are you doing, Dawnbreaker?
I'm doing very good, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting series of games today.
Now, what can you tell me from last week's? Because obviously I wasn't here, I kind of missed that one. So what happened there? Because I know you were casting with the ever delightful Jason Kaplan, so do fill me in.
Well, we had it was quite interesting because a lot of the usual suspects we would get into the finals kind of started to stumble maybe for the first time in quite a regular way. You had UMAV and Dignitas had a 2-1 game, obviously going UMAV's favour. That was a comeback of a century for Dignitas, but not enough. Eventually, they went out to UMAV. UMAV then took out Fnatic 2-0 quite decisively. But on the bottom side of the bracket, this is where it got interesting. AAA 2-0'd Epsilon, and then 2-1 UMAV to win the first cup.
That is really, really impressive. And speaking of that, hopefully I can do this right, because I am just producing this, so do bear with me. Nailed it. Okay, so looking at the rankings now, against all authority, after doing that, they're sitting up in 4th place with 150 points, which it pretty much has secured them in this. I don't think they'd be dropping out of the top 16 at any time soon. So that was a fantastic performance from them, and they've always been pretty good. Everyone's always kind of given them a lot of hype around the name, but it's nice to see them really kind of living up to it here. And is there anyone else surprising you in that top 16 so far? Obviously, the first game we're going to be going to is the team who are on the cusp of just being in this one, tied with only 25 points with 3 other teams. So obviously something to keep your eyes on there. But is there anyone surprising you in that top 16 at all?
Planet Key Dynamics, obviously winning the Go For at the weekend, beating AAA. That was a very surprising thing. But then again, that's a team I've been expecting to do well for a while. And they're one of these teams that are at 9th place right now in the rankings. But with performances like that, they could go all the way today and easily in the group stages.
Yeah, so certainly a lot of teams to kind of keep your eyes on at the moment. And it's really close from, 7th to 16th. If they got through to the semi-finals, everything could change here. So certainly a day to keep your eyes on in aspect of those sort of changes. Now, speaking of today's games, obviously the brackets are just as important, so I will be trying to throw those up for you in just a moment, guys at home, and you guys can have a little check as to what we will be watching today. So these are the brackets of today's games. Now, Fnatic obviously getting a bye in the first round, going to be sitting into the second, as has Dignitas, as has PKD, and a couple of others. Obviously, you can get yourself over to the site and check them out for yourselves at battlefield-ems1.com. Simple as that. But the game I think that you highlighted to me that I kind of didn't take notice of until you said it was PyRoGEN up against Name. Now, PyRoGEN are in 16th, but as we just saw before, they're tied with a lot of other teams for that position. The points are very, very close, so anything can happen around that point. And they'll be facing off against Name. Now, Name haven't had the easiest of games and a couple of bits like that. They've had a bit of a hard time, so it's hard to determine where they're at. But, if Name kind of make their way through here, that would really cause an upset, because they're only down in 19th, and, when the points get down that low, literally one victory at this point can really boost you up. So what do you expect to see out of this?
Well, Name are a team that, have always been doing quite well. They managed to beat Epsilon in the Go For quite recently, and obviously they went out to Planet Key, but they went on to win. So, they're a very dangerous team. For Name to get into the group of 16, though, they not only need to beat PyRoGEN, they also need to beat Dignitas. And that's going to be a tall order, but if they can take out Epsilon, there's nothing really stopping them. That's a team that can tear apart any top team. So if you can hang at that level, you've got nothing really to worry about.
Yeah, and I do believe we are live in game. So let's jump into this one. This is the first map. It's going to be Dawnbreaker. Hopefully you've been told the server. If not, it is in chat, so do not fear. As we mentioned before, it will be PyRoGEN up against Name. Now, as you mentioned, a lot to be watched in this one. Going to make sure I am on the correct side here. So LDLC on the US team, so I need to put it that way around. Nailed it. So already 100 words are hard. 135 tickets for Name and only 88 for Team PyRoGEN. Now, obviously Dawnbreaker, you can't read too much into it just yet. We will be switching sides obviously at the half and seeing how this one goes. But so far, it's looking not too bad for the US team. That is LDLC to kind of turn this one around. So let's see. They've got a 2-to-1 hold at the moment, holding down A and B. But it does seem as though A will be converted. And Dogbert, have you joined me in the server?
Yeah, I am indeed.
There we go. No worries. Do tell me what's going on so far, because we did miss a little bit of the start then.
Name went off to a quite good start. They got the original hold, B and A, and then they ended up getting an AEC hold. But from then on out, PyRoGEN's kind of regrouped and now taking what was quite a good lead from Name and down to a more manageable margin. Obviously, 150 tickets each round in this best of 3. And they're making a fight of it right now. Kind of a full domination cap for PyRoGEN. And they don't have the upper balcony. They don't have the walkway, which is a very, very important area. You see terrors up there. But from then on out, they've got all the flags of importance right now. Full domination cap for PyRoGEN.
Yeah, fantastic play for these guys, really working this one back. And look at those tickets just getting so close. Terra has been kind of challenged there on that walkway. We can see who comes out the victor of that one, but we are seeing C being turned over towards the name side. So at least they have a small bit of silver lining currently, and they can try and work on turning this one around, because A and B still being very much the strongholds, but I wouldn't be surprised CB going in favor to the name side either.
Yeah, but with that upper balcony, it gives them such an opportunity to just push onto that B flag whenever they feel the need to, and that's something they're going to use to their advantage. But you can see that PyRoGEN are using the other road and the middle of the buildings to really just nullify that advantage, take away that player pretty much out of the game, and leaving it to more of a 4v5 onto the A and C flags, where the player on that upper balcony is just not able to have an influence.
Yeah, indeed. So let's see what Flash can do here. He's kind of surrounded a little bit. He's going to be eyeing up that A side. I think he's going to go for a bit of a sneaky cap if he can. And not a bad idea at this point. Obviously, A being converted, the only one. They might be going back for that triple cap. He has been challenged down. So at least for now, Named will retain at least one flag here. Going to be pushing straight down towards the B side. So trying to get that one back in their hands. And this is a very close game considering the points difference between these two teams. 75 to 77 at the moment. We do see the Pyro side right down back by C. But what sort of viable routes do you think they have of taking this one back? Is it all about pushing up that side catwalk area and trying to retake it from there?
Well, it definitely helps. If you bring up your tabletop now, you will see that Name have pretty much got a line starting from Javandis all the way down to Supremacy, and that is basically the line they want to hold. It's pretty much the strongest one on this map, and if they can maintain it, this is very, very likely to bleed out a significant amount of tickets from PyRoGEN. PyRoGEN, though, with that upper balcony, they just took control of it now, and this is where it becomes a bit dangerous if you stay a static defense. You need to be mobile, you need to push forward, but it looks like Name aren't really going for that. They're sticking with positions.
Yeah, indeed they are. We do see a nice little spawn for Terra, though, coming up. He should be able to convert that C site over into the Name's hand. So spamming out those nades, trying to hold back the Pyro side as much as possible. They know they're kind of cornered in towards that B side. He has managed to convert this over on his own. Got a couple of respawns with him. But let's see him. Looks like he wants to try and take them down. Actually, a lot of people run with that Scar now. We've seen a 2-to-1 hold will be in favor to Name. So looking to get themselves back in. This one player does go down. Terra still standing. Managing to catch 2 off guard. Lovely play from him. Now Zero needs to come in big on this side because this could be a triple cap going out for Named.
Yeah, and what's interesting is it just seems to switch back and forth. Whoever seems to get the balcony does have a momentary portion of control, and then a full domination cap just seems to occur. And that's because you can sometimes put too much effort into that upper balcony, and your opponents will just be like, right, cool, we're not going to get that back. We're going to have to sneak our way into it. So up until that point, let's just take all the flags, because we outnumber them.
And I think you're kind of calling that one right at the moment. So it's still a triple cap in favor to Named, really breaking the odds at the moment, considering Pyro up in 16th and Named are down in 19th. They're really doing this quite well. So 30 tickets are desperately bleeding away from Pyro. We're going to try to make a little bit of a dash towards the A side. You can see SLT trying to get his way in. Nice little nading out there. Takes down Josez. And they should be able to lock down this A conversion, but still, it seems like a very small prize here. But they do have one player at least pushing straight towards that catwalk. It will be Flash. 2 players now in front. He's taken down one, but will he expect the other so close by? Spreading out a couple on the catwalk through towards the central area as they are actually holding back the side at the moment. Pavik is the only player really standing, but the tickets are getting so damn low for Team PyRoGEN that they're really in trouble here. They need to get at least one more site to even have a chance in this.
Yeah, they really need to start even up the score. Zero TP there, though, got a load of important kills in the middle. And more importantly, at the same time, Flasho did the same thing on the upper balcony. 2v1s almost in every case. And that's kind of what PyRoGEN need, because right now they need to bring this score down. 9 for 56 right now. They've got the A-B hold. And really, the A-B hold on this map, you can survive on 9 tickets if you play smart.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can, as their last kind of hope is a spawn around the back of A. So it's going to be Marion leading the charge around the back. They're looking for a way through. He does spot a player on the flag, does not get the shot he needed, and these tickets are not looking pretty now. As you said, 9 now remaining. is ticking down. Can they get back in this one, though? That is the big question here. And they're just being mowed down. Pyro is still doing this. They're still trying to get that work done. The A side being converted over towards the Chinese side, but it's going to take such a small amount for these guys to turn this one back through, and they're not finding an easy way down towards that B side. This is getting a lot closer. 8-33. The deficit has been closed, and Named are finding no easy route now through towards that B side or the C section. They have had a nice little spawn for Terra, however, so might be able to get their hands on this one if he doesn't get challenged out too quickly by that balcony area. So Nade's now reining in. He's not going to be touched by any of those just yet. Lovely little play. They've got the ANC side, but what a final stand going out from Pyro. Take them down to 28 tickets, and I believe this will be all she wrote for at least the first half on this map. But a lovely little switch around at the end then really claimed back a good couple of tickets there for the Pyro or LDLC side. So 28 tickets, I believe, will be the final marker. But that did get a little bit close towards the end then.
It did, and this is Name's map as well, so you'd think they'd have maybe a bit better control, or at least a bit more of a coherent plan when they try and finish it out. I'm actually surprised PyRoGEN came forward like that. They were really aggressive when they had the 2-flag hold. They didn't need to do that. I think they didn't feel comfortable holding the B and C. A and B is obviously a lot more easier to hold because you don't get any spawns in the rear, and that's what undid them there. Wasn't the fight around the flag at A, it was the fight at C that went wrong for them. It was a one-on-one, didn't go PyRoGEN's way, and from then on out, particularly would do them out. But that is a nice comeback. 28 tickets ain't too bad.
Yeah, you've got to kind of, I don't know, find the silver lining in that one. It's not a bad situation to be in. So obviously, guys sitting at home, do let me know your thoughts towards how this one's going to pan out. Make sure you tweet to myself at They Call Me Pansy and at Dignitas Dog. But if I'm not wrong with that, I'm pretty sure that is yours. If I am mistaken, do correct me. But obviously, let us know how this is going so far. Do make sure you tweet out the stream as well, because obviously I haven't been here for a while. I've been casting other games in other places, and I've kind of missed it. I miss Battlefield. I miss, games with guns. It makes me happy. We are seeming to move on to Zavod, which I'm not sure if that's the right way they'll be doing it. Probably give us switching it back.
That's a mistake. I mean, that is PyRoGEN's pick. Dawnbreaker is team names, and then our decider will be Golmud. Golmud seems to come up as our decider map just on a regular basis now. I have no idea why. And no one wants to ban it, and no one wants to pick it.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I actually really like that map. I love the way it's so fluid. It really is quite aggressive, that map, and it's always made me enjoy it. But I'm kind of curious as to what these guys are doing with the map change, so hopefully we can find out what's going on there. Unless we missed the entirety of a first half, which I find impressive more than anything. I don't think we've managed that one. So we are going to find out if we are going into the second one. Let's see if we did. If we did, I'll live with my choices. That'd been a very quick first half, to be fair.
No,
we'll just wait. I'm staring at this little black screen with that little blinky thing, and I'm just like, oh Lord, please change back. Don't make me get fired. Please don't. I'm waiting nervously now.
Yay!
Yes! Do not fear, guys. You haven't got rid of me yet. Not yet. Soon, I can imagine. Very, very soon, I might be vacating the building, but for now all is good. But do make sure you get tweeting out the stream. As I said before, it is always welcomed, and obviously your feedback is just as welcomed as well. So let's bear in mind, if PyRoGEN slip below 28 tickets, they are already in trouble going to the second map. So that'll be very much an interesting thing to keep your eyes on. And it's all about the cup finishes now and getting through to that group stage, because a lot of the bigger teams now are pretty safe. So for the next, today and tomorrow, you may not be seeing your Fanatics or your Epsilons or your Dignitases, but I do want to keep my eyes on any team around that 16 marker cusp, or any teams around that, because obviously getting through to those groups means you have a chance to get to the offline finals, which certainly is a bit of a poignant factor at the moment for these guys, and obviously something they want to be doing. So I'm going to tab out real quick while we load into the map and double check that all the settings are okay for you guys. I'd assume by now that I'd have had a mass amount of tweets saying I've broken everything if I had. So I'm going to assume it's correct. This could be a vital mistake, but we are going to be getting back underway in this one in just a moment, I do believe. So let's drop you guys in game if I don't break it. I broke it. I'll stop breaking it. Nailed it. There you go. I do have a tendency to break these things. I don't know what's wrong with me at the moment. It's like anything technical that I touch just seems to absolutely shrivel and die. But on the Chinese side, I can imagine it will be Pyro. So once they're loading the game, predictions on this one from the first kind of half we saw there. What did you kind of get from that?
Name started really strong. Really put PyRoGEN under pressure. PyRoGEN managed to equalize it around the middle, but you see Name kind of wrestled it back away from them. Obviously, we're going to have to wait until Name get their fifth guy in the game. It's a usual issue. It happens sometimes. But Name look really strong on this map. It's just that they get a bit sloppy and let PyRoGEN through. I got a feeling Name will probably take this map quite comfortably, and I think PyRoGEN will have to seek revenge on their map on Zavod. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, indeed. It is very hard to call this, as you said. I don't think we could have predicted that last cup result. So any team can really turn up on the day and do the damage, pretty much. So looking forward to seeing who really turns up here and finds their kind of footing within this one. So once we while we are waiting, I can kind of take you through the players we have there. So all of them with obscenely hard names to pronounce for the name side.
You're doing this bit.
Yeah, slightly ironic. They've called themselves named, yet they have these kind of names with them. It's just cruelty at its finest. So LDLC, aka Pyro Gaming, will be Melicium Hexis. That is not a name. I'm going to say Laszlo because that's right at the end. Zero and Flash. See, I remember the good old days of gaming where you just had a very basic name. You know what I mean? You had Dogbert, Pansy. It's all very simple. Now it's like, how many random vowels can I throw in this and just hope it makes kind of sense? So for named Terra, we'll stick with that one. Pavik, also fine. Justificis is not how I'm going to be saying it during the stream. And Marion. So I don't know how I'm going to say that. JSUSVSES. How are we going to say that? Like.
Well, I think what happens is
you could say Jesus.
You punish people who have ridiculous names like that, and just don't mention that they're doing anything.
I'll call them Bob.
To.
Indeed, just ignore their existence. It's the good old thing where you refer to one player as the whole team. Like, if they're making a singular push, you just say Team PyRoGEN or named. You never actually manage to say their name. One of the many casting tricks I pick up from people of a far older age than I am doing this job. I remember Tosspot back in the day deciding he didn't like names like that and decided to title them Bob or Dave. Nice names, I think, that might have to come back out again. So I think Super has just rejoined us, so you shouldn't be waiting too long to get this one underway, but do let me know your predictions and do let me know your thoughts towards the stream so far. Hopefully I haven't completely dashed your hopes and dreams for enjoying tonight's games. I know it can happen. Hopefully the game sounds aren't too quiet. I think they sound a little bit quiet. I'm going to throw those up a little bit. Hopefully that won't kill you guys at home. Let's see what they're like. God, sweet baby Jesus, they're loud. Alright, maybe not that loud. See, this is what happens when I'm trusted once again to do, like, my own studio production. Like, it should never be a thing that I get allowed to do. It should always be taken away from me. It's what I've kind of learned here. And I've stuck with it happily, but no, we are going to be getting back underway nice and quickly, and I can stop talking absolute nonsense. And just to remind you, so, the fact of the matter is, Team PyRoGEN, if they drop below 28 tickets, they'll be going into the second map with a bit of a disadvantage. Obviously, being down one map is a huge falter there. But do you know what the second map is? Is it going to be Zavod?
It will be Zavod. That is PyRoGEN's pick, and the decider will be Golmud if we get that far.
Okay. But to be fair, 28 tickets is not a huge amount for PyRoGEN to overcome. If they get a decent spawn or a decent cap off the spawn, I'm sure they'll do just fine. So let's find out where they're starting. On the Chinese side, it will be LDLC, aka PyRoGEN, and on the US side, it will be named. So if that red little logo in the top right of your screen drops below the lovely number of 28, they are in trouble. So I wonder if they're going to do the stack off the spawn. I wonder if that's becoming a thing now, and I believe it is. So that clearly caught on, indeed. You can see Melicium there just being hopped up and boosted, and it just gives you a little bit of a couple of seconds extra to get to those sites. And I do like the little cheekiness of it. It's always a cool thing to see the game kind of being adapted across. I'm curious to see if there's any bonuses towards the other side, if there's a closer spawn maybe, or something you could bring out. It seems as though the four of them have got a bit of a spawn towards B a little bit closer, and one maybe going for that A side. So we are live into this one, and I'm kind of curious to see how the LDLC will be starting out on that Chinese side. It seems as though Melicium will be going for a straight split towards B with two members beside him, so hopefully he can get his hands onto this one pretty damn quickly. See him running with that Scar H, becoming a little bit of a common trend now, but Terra happily to contest this, getting onto the scene first this time, but Super Machine is above, lobbing down those nades, so could be in trouble if he's not careful. And they seem to have held at least a good 2-1 for now. And Pyro, they need to find their way back in towards that B site, or maybe just focus out to A.
That was almost a complete wipe on PyRoGEN there.
Yeah.
That push onto B is such a risky one, because as soon as the other team is aware of it, they're going to converge on you from all sides, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Bo, in the counter way, they just got a load of kill. They have opened up B, but Name are all over them. But they're already attacking A. They've got some cover on B, and this is a sloppy game straight away.
Yeah, Pyro are not doing a great job from the absolute offset. You can see the nice little safety play coming out, a little bit of spam coming down the corridor. Pavik will pick up the kill in tow with Super, and now we are seeing a 2-to-1 hold, fairly respectable so far, but Pyro just not being quite able to break into this one yet. Wherever they seem to go, it's just really making them struggle, so B should be converted over towards Named, but Pyro looking like they want to start edging towards possibly that CB hold. But then again, there's a hell of a lot of members present there. Hex is going down that catwalk. Jesus is laying in wait, and Jesus will take him down. And we will be seeing Laszlo trying to convert that C site. But still, already a very big deficit for Pyro to overcome here with only one site to hand.
Yeah, and they've got the AB hold. Obviously, they don't have the upper balcony, and I think that is going to start playing a big issue in the B flag. But at the same time, they don't need a big win here. They just need a close game. They don't need anything too crazy. And right now, they're going to play a flag game. They're not going to do anything but try and get the bleed.
Well, let's see if that one plays out. Marion, they're just holding the flank. He spotted one player down by that catwalk on the cross. Does get a couple of shots off, not getting the connection he needed there. Marion now has to try and get back in towards that B side because B has been converted. Jesus is still laying down the fire there. I feel very sacrilegious saying this, but still, they have seemed to get their hands on the B site, and they should be going for a bit of a trip cap here. So actually not bad players at all. They've kind of managed to turn this one around a bit.
Yeah, but there you go, full domination cap straight away for Name. And this is where it starts to get a bit dangerous. I mean, without that upper balcony control, and you look like they're going to give up on it now, PyRoGEN have to win this quite dominantly, and they're not really getting the hold they need early on. And Name are just on them so much that they can't really ever feel comfortable setting up a line of defense. And this is where it starts to get worrying. Those 28 tickets are going to start coming into effect very soon.
Yeah, so they do have C, and they are trying to convert on A at the moment, but B is certainly still very much in the hands of Named. Laszlo spamming out those nades down towards the catwalk. Super gets one right back towards him. He needs to back away from that. Finally does, and C is being lost. Marion getting his hands on that, but the rest of Pyro now looking towards that B side. Pavik stops him in their tracks along that upper catwalk within the building. Can he get a second follow-up? No, Melicium will break through, but still, they've yet to get that B site into their hands. Melicium is the first one really to get down towards it, and as we mentioned, those tickets are getting damn low right now, and they do not have control of the catwalk, which could really be a bit of a problem here.
Yeah, this game is going back and forth, and that's fine for Name. They've got a lot more leeway. First of all, we're winning this round. They already won the last round, and that's a wipe at B. It has forced a spawn up for Hexus near C. That's good for them. They'll get the bleed off their back, but they don't have the kind of control they need in a game like this. It's starting to run away from them.
Yeah, we do see Terror already splitting off towards that C site as well. Going to be trying to contest anyone getting off that one. Does spot out Hexus there. Does get the fire through and going to take him down, but immediate reactive play coming out. But as you said, 2-to-1 hold at this point. They're going to need to lock this one down for a long time. A already has the attention. The likes of Marion just going to be charging in there. Does not get the drop onto Laszlo, however. And we are going to see Pyro trying to hold on to this. Nice cell play from Flash coming in from the back, but still, he's quite far out. And the rest of the side finally do respawn in back by A. But C being lost. Melicium is on the side. Does manage to defend that against Terror for now, but they don't have it completely uncontested. Super in the background, laying down some good fire towards the catwalk, but this is a nice little turnaround for now, but they really need to lock this one down, but they seem to go for the trip cap rather than the 2-to-1 hold.
Yeah, and in middle, this is what it's into. It was a 3-on-1, and it just dragged out and on, and this is giving Name an advantage to just really push on flags that really they shouldn't be able to be getting near. Obviously, they got wiped elsewhere, but right now, even though this is kind of PyRoGEN, it looks really good for them right now. The BC hold, the reason why this one is so dangerous is just to defend B, you're pretty much overextending on C, so there'll always be a spawn behind there. So you kind of always got to look over your shoulder when holding B and C. And I think for Name, they're going to take advantage of that and just overwhelm B.
Yeah, and let's see if they can. Flash is set up on that catwalk section, so already trying to make this one stay the way it is. Laying down the fire with that Scar. Not going to get the kill, however, so B could be in trouble pretty soon if they're not careful. But they're still holding on for now, but it seems as though the US side of Named are rather fancying the chances within the building rather than just challenging flat out on A. It will be Pavik there laying down the fire towards that catwalk. croning down rather swiftly, allowing Super to push in towards the site, and they have got the conversion. So this is real trouble now. Those tickets are going to get bleeding once again. And do you think there's room for a convert onto A coming out from Pyro, or are they just not in the position to make it happen?
Right now, they can only really push on this B flag. They can go for A, but it takes time, and more importantly, reinforcements come in. So B's going to be their main effort here. You can see them starting to line up for it. Problem is, Name are aware of it, and they're kind of rotating to stop them. And now they're going to have to start They have probably one good push left in them.
Yeah, so 46 tickets remaining. Remember, if it drops below 28, that first map will be going over to Named, and they currently have that 2-1 hold. So Pyro trying to minimize the damage over towards the A side. Not going to get past Super, however, who is locking this down with a comrade just to his right. So a nice little crossfire setup there. 38 tickets, 10 more, and there is going to be real trouble here. Nice little couple of respawns going through. It does seem as though the B side will be the trying attention of Pyro, but a trip cap against them. I don't think they're going to be able to get through this one, and Pyro now just seem to have to look towards the next map, because there is your 28 tickets, and well, Pyro just got kind of smashed on this one, really.
Yeah, and I did say I had a feeling they might win this round a bit more comfortably than they did in the last one. They had moments of complete control previously, and that was when they were on the harder side. Right. They did a very, very good job this round.
Yeah, so we are now into pretty much garbage time within this, so I will throw you back to my delightful mug while they play this one out, so do excuse me, looking so very tired. I've been out to Poland recently, and it's a long weekend, but so next map, Zavod, what can we expect out of this one? Because Zavod seems to be quite a polarizing map in the way it's played out. Some teams are absolutely phenomenal, and others just really struggle to find their footing in it. How do you think this one's going to play out between these two? Because I haven't seen Named on this one, or the one coming up, so I'm kind of curious to see how these guys will do. Have you ever seen them before on Zavod?
I don't think I've seen either of these teams play on Zavod, and Zavod's one of these maps that can either rely on really just two teams going for a two-cap hold, C and B, or they can play a more fluid game and just try and just get flags whenever they can, really, and nothing more. But I don't know. When a team picks it, you kind of assume that they have a very good strat for it. But then you just come down to they just feel comfortable on it and nothing more. So I'll be interested to see what both teams bring to it. But Name are looking a little bit better in all departments here. And I think PyRoGEN might be a bit mentally crushed after this round.
You do start taking it to heart at this point. It starts to kind of weigh a little bit heavier on your kind of mentality, considering, Named are down in 19th. That's they've yet to make it further than I believe the first two games by my poor calculations. Yeah, Team PyRoGEN are doing consistently. I think Named didn't do very well in the first cup, or they didn't take part in the first cup, as they have 0 points. But all they have to do is basically beat Team PyRoGEN here, and they should be at least equal to that factor. So I'm going to make sure I kind of get the round things right here, because this is a really big factor to this one, because it all depends on this. There's 3 teams. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 4 teams tied on 15 points with Named. Brutality Corps, Isuba, and Team Empire. Wizards is just above them on 20. So all those sides can really have some movement here. Eyeballers 25, same as Team PyRoGEN. Exertus 25, Seaplay 25. So there's that's from 16th to 11th, and anyone below Wizards was just out of that, and that's a huge thing for these guys. So hopefully we can get the securing results, and we do need to keep up to date with the brackets. So hopefully those do get updated as quickly as possible, because it is going to be a really tough game for these guys, because it's such a mental drain when you're like sitting on the cusp of going through to the groups, and then literally one game can cost you, or one map. And I do hope that it won't be one map that costs these guys their path through here, but I think we are getting ready to go into the second map, so do bear with me as I minimize and shuffle things around. I'm really bad at producing stuff. Like I can barely stream myself, let alone an actual game, but we are obviously getting ready to go on to Zavod. And I'm looking forward to this one. Predictions, a little bit of a guess. Where are you going to go for this? Name looked pretty damn good in the last one.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Name probably might take this 2-0 over PyRoGEN, but we'll have to wait and see. This is PyRoGEN's map. Oh, and don't worry, you worry about production. I've casted live to probably a few thousand people on a holding screen for about 5 minutes. So, I was
proud of you for that, to be fair. It was the dedication. You were very dedicated to casting that weight screen. It was a beautiful one as well. If only it had your face on it or something, that would have been a lot better, I feel. You would have really given the people at home a bit of a sight.
Especially if the mouth moved whenever I talked.
That'd be genius. I don't know why that's not a thing for, Dignitas. I think it has to happen.
Needs to be casting technology in the future.
Exactly. It's the way forward. You should sell it to Twitch TV. I think it's a bit of a good idea. But obviously, while we are waiting for these guys to get themselves prepared, we are just talking absolute nonsense. And I think I deserve a Team Dignitas t-shirt. That's what I've been discussing at the event on the weekend. It's like someone got given a Virtus Pro one with their name on the back. And I was like, well, I don't know anyone from Russia, so I'm clearly not going to be getting that. But the Team Dignitas ones did look pretty cool, so I did want to steal one of those. But sadly, they did not allow me to steal anything. But yeah, I feel as though I deserve one for just accommodating you in these casks. It's not easy. It's not easy having to deal with Dogbert.
You had to carry me so hard.
No, my game knowledge is so superior to yours. It is quite taxing.
Yeah, but I can't do play-by-play at all, so you got to take me somewhere.
No, indeed. It's literally all I have. It's like I can occasionally get excited about things. It's not exactly the best selling point in the world, but I think we are almost ready. They're just going to be going for the restarts. I don't know when Live on 3 became a thing for Battlefield, but apparently they like resetting this stuff. So we will be switching into this as soon as they are prepared. Doo-doo-doo. It's very dramatic music on the start, isn't it?
It is indeed. I always miss the Levolution event. I'm either not got the right camera on tabletop, or I do, and it's nice to see at the beginning.
Okay, Dog, but
I like the Levolution. Okay.
All right, there's nothing wrong with enjoying the Levolution. I just see it in the little mini thing, kind of crumbling. Like I see B basically in all the tanks. But obviously, I think we have 5 in for each side, so we should be going live when this was in. So let's have a little look. So we do have names sitting on the US side. My overlay does not lie to me, which is a bonus. And on the Russian side, it will be Team PyRoGEN or LDLC. Why do they need 2 team names? One's enough. They're just getting greedy. But who should go for what at the start here? Which teams are going to be going where right now?
Both teams are going to go for that B flag, and I'm trying to find out if anyone is packing a rocket launcher. Sometimes a C flag, the walls can be blown in, but it looks like both teams are not bringing engineers.
Wow.
And NAME are doing something quite unique. They're going for A and going for it quite heavy.
Yeah, and only Marion being the player on B almost keep their attention. And as you mentioned, they are going to be pushing in towards that A site. Jesus has gone down, but the nade will connect from Super, so they have opened up a route here. They will be losing out on A for now, but they will be converting it. And this should be a 2-1 hold to named already. This is a huge start for these guys. Absolutely brilliant stuff. The play from B will be coming across. That's Laszlo. They're just eyeing up the entrance towards C. As we know, BC is a very comfortable hold here. Going to be going for that full revive. Going to be challenging out Terra, feeling the wrath of him in such a superior position. But let's see, are they going to be able to hold on to A side as well? It seems as they are. That's a good 2-1 start, and that's a really unique style coming out from named.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty much breaking down how this map is usually played and trying to just buck the trend. I mean, usually going for B is what you do. You'd send 3 people. If anything, I was maybe a little disappointed that Name sent someone to B and didn't play a bit more of a hide-and-seek game. He was right in their face and let them know he was there by himself. But over at A, yeah, that was really good. And then they countered the attack on C perfectly and just mowed them down. Really good, strong start from them. But PyRoGEN seemed to start to maybe work it out. I don't know. They seem to be a bit more spread than they were before.
Yeah, Melisium is the only one on the B site for now. He's finally got some respawns coming in, so they could challenge now. Just going to wait to see where these guys get set up.
That was huge. There was a trade over at C. If that had gone the way of PyRoGEN, they would have took that flag, no problem. But it does leave it open with no defender right now.
Yeah, so I can imagine we do see a couple of players from Pyro actually immediately getting towards that C site. So a bit of a big hold coming out for the team of Pyro. They should be at least locking down possibly 3 of the sites here, because named are just kind of cornered in by that B spawn. Quickly getting across towards the C site. We do see Laszlo and Zero really mopping up the remains. The Super is going to be trying to make a stand here, but really to no avail. And a trip cap coming out for Team Pyro. This is a very different team here. And I'm not sure if it was just because of a bit of a bad spawn for named, but there's certainly going to be a big ticket bleed now affecting them, and we will be seeing them going to be splitting and kind of cutting their losses, heading up over towards A where only one man is defending. Flash expecting maybe a little bit of a further back spawn, but playing a little bit carefully now, just sitting, laying in wait. Going to try and possibly get in on this one, or is he going to wait for maybe a respawn here?
I think he's just going to let them leave that flag, and I think he's just going to walk in and take it. Right now, it's C is where they're probably going to have to get more worried about. Depends. Sometimes teams leave a defender. It looks like both teams are going to do that. So there's going to be 1v1 there, but C, this is where it's going down, a 3v3 going on.
Yeah, indeed. Zero there does find Jesus on the site. Now going to be defending this with everything he has. He knows his teammates falling around the back. There's at least one more player here. He's been mopped up, and it will be seeing named converting this C site. I don't think anyone's near enough to contest it right now, and the respawns will be coming in, and we are seeing the fact that Pyro are pushed quite far back towards that A spawn. So already hitting this one up. They have retained B here, so they could be going for that 2-to-1 cap if they can, but splitting their forces a little bit. 2 going to B, 3 going to A, and let's see if they can get this one down. Already Laszlo rotating off the A site, looking to make sure he's covering the cross back in. Oh, he's just caught a glimpse of one. Going from the back. Super finds one of them. Oh, that was a mistake coming out from him there. That means Super is still alive and kicking. Bit of a contest on A, but the exchange does go down in favor to Pyro for now. At least there won't be a contest there, but it's all about that respawn for me now, because this 2-to-1 hold won't be lasting for long.
Super Macy J just got a load of those crucial kills right in the middle of the map. And right now, if Name can just get a hold of this B flag and hold C, that's what they want. But they seem to go for C and A all the time. And it's very difficult to hold both them flags.
It is indeed. We are seeing B going back and forth. A little bit around the back from Hexis there. Mopping up the remains. He should be able to get this one in a good couple of revives if he fancies it, to try and get his teammates alive beside him and then work from there. A is being converted, but we are seeing C switching into their hands. So they may actually come out of this with the ideal hold and then start that ticket bleed, really working against the opponent, who are pretty much locked down to A. Do you think they could be happy with this? Because now, finally, Team Pyro kind of have that ideal section to be towards.
Yeah, and you can see them fanning out now on the tabletop. They're taking their positions that they probably have rehearsed plenty of times. But this does leave it open for Name to just overwhelm that C flag if they choose to. But it looks like they're just spreading out in pretty much retaliation, trying to break in somewhere.
Yeah, indeed. So Zero will be the player tucked in towards that C site. He might have some company soon. 2 players just taking the time, maybe waiting on a couple of respawns, because B was held by LDLC Pyro. So these guys just waiting it out. Comfortable play, watching that underpass. Zero still very much there. And let's see if these guys have got any way through. You can see the nade spam just really holding him at the door. There's no way through for these guys. They might have to wait for possibly a different route to be made. And even Flash getting quite aggressive towards the A side. Not pushing for it just yet, but they're certainly eyeing it up. Terra was the one kind of camping out the machinery there, but does get one down. Nice little follow-up from Flash onto Super, so that has opened up A for now. And I don't think there's going to be any respawns towards that just as of yet for Name. So this is a good little play from LDLC, cutting any of their losses and then just going straight away for the convert.
Yeah, PyRoGEN are playing this round much better than Name. At the beginning, Name were doing pretty good, but it started to go against them. And a more experienced side on this map, you can start to see it for PyRoGEN. They start to take quite a good lead, almost 2-to-1 right now in tickets. But Name just seem to be going in on brute force alone right now. Every time they've spread out, it's not gone their way, and PyRoGEN seem to be hitting their stride right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Terra getting a little bit of a random spawn towards that A site, so he might be able to come around the back here and help out his teammate, who is Marion actually. So no, not going to be able to get into that one. Not checking your corners will get you killed. And we are seeing the exchange going between Super and I believe that's Flash now. Nice little work coming in from Super there. Should be able to get his teammate up, and they could get that A side down. But as we mentioned, it's already a big ticket lead for these for the opponents, who really are starting to get into their stride. So A being converted over, but it seems that it's a very small bit of a battle victory rather than the war going their way. And they're just getting mowed down wherever they push out, whether it be B, whether it be C. They're just being stopped right in their tracks. Finally broken through towards that C side. They might be able to do something here, but Hexis once again doing the damage, and there's just no easy route through right now.
No, and more importantly, PyRoGEN are feeling so comfortable they try and get a domination cap here. It's really weird. Every time Name tried to break through, they find at least 1 or 2 PyRoGEN guy already there blocking them. They've never been able to break through like unopposed. It's always been a very long, thought-out battle, which has generally gone PyRoGEN's way because they have enough time to bring in reinforcements.
Yeah, we will be seeing Hexis going for a little bit of a solo Rambo here. Make his way around the backside of B. He knows that's just been converted. A has got the attention, so maybe be the time to push. But there we go. We do see Pavik there holding on strong, so they're not letting this one go without a fight. But Laszlo takes down Super, so try to defend this one off. And with only 14 tickets remaining, Name need to kind of get as many as they can on the board here, but they seem to be really clutching at straws. B doesn't even stay in their hands. They're going to get the convert on C, but I don't feel as though they're going to be able to hold a 2-to-1 at all now.
No, and the fact that they've lost B is quite huge. Unless they can get a very, very quick finish at the A flag, I don't think there's very much they can do at this point. And almost 80 points tickets is a significant lead for PyRoGEN. So it's all on this A flag right now. They are going to get a hold here, but with only 3 tickets remaining, this ain't much. So you need a miracle here for Name to actually hold this on.
Well, they seem to be trying it. Super and Pavic doing what they can, but as you said, 3 tickets is absolutely minimal. Jesus finds one as well, but it's all about that respawn. Where are these guys coming towards for the opposition? LDLC, Pyro going to make their way through mid, finding Jesus there. That's Melicium breaking through, and any respawns really going to start affecting these guys. They need as many tickets as possible, trying to really claw them away from the opponent. 65 now, but only 2 for themselves, and this is getting a little bit sloppy here. They've spread out, but Pavic still doing work. We are seeing Melicium there, Super taking down the opponents. They're really working it back, but 1 ticket left. Any of those respawns that we've just seen coming in will take them below the threshold, as we are seeing 59. They're losing out on A. This is the convert we're waiting on. Hexus could be the one player to really just rub salt into the wound. They made a really good final stand, but Jesus does go down, and I do believe that is all she wrote, as 56 tickets. Well, that's a lot better than I expected it to be fair.
Jesus just went down. Yeah, sorry, 56 tickets is pretty good.
He named himself this. He will be called this.
There was another point where you said Zero finds Jesus. I'm loving that. This guy has a great name. Yeah, 56 tickets.
I don't appreciate your mockery, dog, but
it's not your fault.
I'm gonna have to get Odie to cast with me. All right, that's what's gonna happen now. I'm gonna have to call up Odie, who is a much better Battlefield player than you, and he's having to cast now.
Oh, well, now you're just lying.
You're going to get fired for that. Suddenly, we'll just see you being ripped away. Just Dogbut now, the new Twitter handle. But yeah, 56 tickets, considering it was up by like the 80-90 marker, that's a fair little kind of clawback towards the end then, considering they had like 3 tickets remaining. That's fairly impressive from those guys. I'll give them that. They did go out pretty much fighting there.
Yeah, what could have been an 80-ticket lead for PyRoGEN, now 56, but you would hope for pretty much with a 56-ticket lead, you need to have a very, very strong start. No messing about. You need control from the get-go. And PyRoGEN did struggle at the beginning. That's the thing. They did have a bit where Name did take the lead straight off the bat, but Name just couldn't maintain it. And that's one thing that PyRoGEN could do. They're very good at holding the flags on Zavod, and it doesn't look like Name have the same ability.
Well, we can only find out now. We will be getting ourselves ready to get underway once I find where Battlefield decided to kind of minimize to. There we go, nailed it. And there we are. I think we're going straight live. I think everyone's in on this one, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So starting over on the US team, it will be Pyro, and for the Russian side, it will be Name. Now, looking at this one, how do you think this one's going to go? Because this was a very different picture to the first game we witnessed.
Yeah, it does seem to be PyRoGEN's one, but at the same time, you kind of seen at the end of that last round, they started to get a bit sloppy.
Yep.
So Name here just need to keep composure and try and get them to feel uncomfortable and start playing a little sloppy again, because they did start to get a lot of kills, but that was a big kill early on. Zero TP goes straight down, and that opens up for a possible early push on that C flag if they want it.
Yeah, Hexus is going to be moving towards A. C looks fairly vulnerable. The respawns are coming in towards Laszlo, so they will be able to hold this one for now. But A being contested, Pavic is moving in. He's expecting a player on the site, and he's not wrong to be believing that. One respawn will come in towards him, but you can see the reinforcements arriving for PyRoGEN as well, who are just going up the stairs. Laszlo, they're doing the supporting work. That should be converted over to a 2-1 hold in favor to Pyro, and this is the start they were really looking for.
Yeah, it's still up in the air, but PyRoGEN, yeah, looking quite strong right now. They're going to lose that C flag, and this is a flag, if you can hold and obviously capture another, it's just a difficult one to break out. Even 1 or 2 people can make a team of 5 pay dearly to take it.
Yeah, and it looks like Pyro aren't just happy with the AB hold. It's going to be Zero pushing in towards that C site. As you said, one of the more ideal setups there. So maybe negate A, but pick up the C-B hold, and Zero is going to be converting that one through. They do seem to have at least one player stuck on towards that one. And already a little bit of a contest towards the B site here coming out from Named. They're not happy just leaving this one going the other way. They've got 2 players now present. They've taken down one of the opponents, so they could get the 2-1 hold here. However, it will be the BA, but there's still some players coming in to try and challenge this one. Flash does not want this going the other way, and he has got the drop on 2 players. Beautiful kill for Flash, and they should be able to secure B from that and retain A.
Yeah, and right now this is everything PyRoGEN need. Obviously they need to win this map to even stay in this cup. So right now CB, this is the hold they want. Obviously they've loaded up that C flag with 3 of their players. B is, I think, pretty much just going to stay as 1 player as much as possible. They know that Name just like to overwhelm by sheer force. So right now, if Name can't break this, there's no way they're going to win this map.
Yeah, and they look in trouble, as you said, trying to just pour bodies in towards this site, and they seem to have broken through for now at least, but we do see Laszlo pushing in, does get caught up by Jesus there, and bless him, doesn't manage to get through. So we do see a little bit of a 3-man split over towards that A side, but they will be met pretty damn quickly. 2-1 currently in favor to Named, and they desperately need that, because if they drop below 56, they will be in trouble. Melicium is the one capping over the side there, so going to be dropping down that mid pack, try to just peer across, seeing anyone else is coming through. We are seeing a little bit of a challenge between Flash and Pavik. Pavik will come off the better, and straight away there's going to be a challenge onto that A site.
Yeah, and right now you can just see that the PyRoGEN guys are perfectly happy just playing the flag game. Whenever Name are loading up for an attack and taking too much time, PyRoGEN just rush off and capture a flag. And all that effort and time that they took to set up their attack, it comes pretty much to naught because they still have the bleed against them. And this is getting really close. I mean, they if they go under 56 tickets, it's pretty much it. So they must be thinking, right, we need to hold this right now.
Yeah, indeed, but Zero is having none of that. Takes down Marion, but there's a good couple of other players present on the side. Super does find him in the end, so they will be holding on to C for now. And now just 1 site for Pyro. Where can they break through here? Jesus picking up that mid kill. Not going to be letting anyone through. Super is supporting, so they're not just locking down the sites. They are fairly aggressive here, and they are getting those tickets slowly but surely away from the opponent. Jesus finally goes down to Hexus, but still immediately avenged. But this time it seems as though Pyro do have that back A spawn, should the opponents of Name start looking towards that B site here.
They need to go for that B flag. I mean, they can't play this AC. It's really, really unsustainable. Unless you get godlike killing skills, it's just not going to happen. There's too many angles of attack on A. It's so open, and that's why it's just generally not a good one to go for. You just get overwhelmed.
Yeah, they're feeling the wrath of that now. We're already seeing an early split coming out from Laszlo there towards the C site. So he really wants to rip this one away and get this one over and done with, because we are tied up all even right now. And Laszlo right in the thick of things, finding 2 players from the back. Terra and Marion will go down, and that means real trouble now. 99 tickets remaining for Pyro, but they certainly can convert this one. C will be going in their favor, and they do have a nice spawn towards A, so they can lock this one out, and they might be able to convert B.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Name right now. They need to, like, really... just pick which flags they want to go for, because they seem to be, like, umming and ahhing over which ones they want. They kind of stay outside and take too much time. At this point, they don't have enough tickets to wait. They need to rush in quick.
Well, they've
do
got
or die for them.
Yeah, indeed. They have A in hand, but as you said, do or die time, and it will be that C side they're looking towards. Laszlo holding down this one, but Jesus finally does break through. But can they get towards the site? 2 men now pushing in for Name. They are solo on tickets, 84 beside them. A nice little peek up does manage to find Zero, and they are slowly but surely just brute forcing their way in towards the site. But can they hold off it? Can they lock down the sites they need to? Because I think they were going for that B side conversion, but I'm not sure they're going to get it.
Well, Malicious just knocked out 2 of Name's attackers onto that B flag by himself, and the spawns coming in for PyRoGEN are looking pretty good. They've got someone on that A flag. He's pretty much uncontested right now, and they're going to retake C. So honestly, this is looking brilliant for them.
Yeah, Pyro looking very comfortable now. They should be able to get this trip cap, maybe get contested on B. They should do now, as Terra has got the spawn there, but staying rather out in the open. Going to be punished for that one after chucking out the nade. He does have 2 players of Marion, and I believe Pavik still present here, but it does feel as though it's almost too little too late. 2-1 hold. Let's see if they can do anything, though, as they have managed to kind of, at least kind of quell the threat for now.
Yeah, it's really annoying for a team when they can take the flags and everything, and it's kind of an even game, but it's the last round now that they're playing against. It's the tickets from the previous round that they got to be worried about. No, nothing more than that. And right now, without the bleed, they're panicking. They're panicking.
They really are. That 2v2 going on that B side is a bit tentative to say the least. Zero was taken down earlier. Now it's just Flash holding on, and he's just being a pest, and it's paying off. 63 tickets. He's picked up Pavik. And now, let's bear in mind, if they drop below 56 on the Russian side on the top left of your screen, they are in trouble, and it's a 2-1 hold against them. They do retain C. They've got the respawn for A, but they need to make this one count. But look at that already. Big challenge from Elysium. Does manage to find one. Gonna find doesn't get the second, however. Jesus will break through, but it feels as though it's too little too late, and it certainly is with 54 tickets. And, well, bit of a surprising game coming out.
Yeah, it is their map, though, so you'd kind of expect that maybe they were far more comfortable on it. But Melissim played a really, really good role for PyRoGEN and shut down, or at least bought time for his team to hold on for a little bit longer. So this is obviously going to go to Golmud Railway. That'll be the decider. But both teams showing really strong on either map, and it'll be interesting to see how they cope on a map that, to be honest, seems to be the tiebreaker for a lot of teams.
I really enjoy it. I'm still pretty sure that's one of my favourite maps to play personally. It's just because it is so close range, it is so very much up into your hands to really dominate it. And if one team really does get that aggressive breakthrough, they can literally dominate the pace of the game. So I'm a very big fan of that one. And I'm quite curious to see how it plays out here, because these two teams, you know, some teams you look at and you see like UMAV, for example, have that a really aggressive playstyle, or Epsilon, for example, in my eyes, that they can brute force sites because they have the cohesion to go along with that beastie aim that they seem to possess. Yet, you know, I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out here, because we haven't seen too much of that from either side. You know, maybe named a little bit more brute forceful, but, you know, PyRoGEN certainly have their ways about them, not as tactical as others. So very curious to see how it pays off. And where's your money on that final map going?
It's a weird one, because the next map that comes up, it very much down to who controls the building. So
yes,
and how much effort you actually put into that, because some teams don't. They just blow the buildings up straight off the bat. But both teams didn't really show any indication they even wanted to do that in a map where it's become not common practice, but not too far off. Rocket launchers on that C flag are quite regular now. So maybe both of these teams aren't even going to run an engineer kit. And if that's the case, then whoever gets control of the B and C houses are pretty much going to dominate. So I kind of think maybe PyRoGEN, they seem a little bit more solid when they spread out, and I think that will be key on this map. But Name at the same time on Dawnbreaker absolutely destroyed PyRoGEN on the second round.
Yeah, it is very true. It's very hard to predict with all the different factors now, so I will drop us into game. There we go. So on the Chinese side, I can imagine it will be named. There we are. And on the Russian side, it will be PyRoGEN. So I'm not sure if we're straight live at the moment. I don't think we are.
No, we're not. We're not, though.
No. I had a mild panic then. I was like, they look kind of like that. No, they're not. All is good. It's this mild panic I seem to have now. It's after a weekend of a different game that does give me a slight heart attack when things go wrong. I've now have a bit of a nervous disposition. So, yeah, kind of take me through what some of the important factors are of this map, because we don't see it that much, because as you said, it's a lot of the kind of coming as a tiebreaker rather than the flat out two. What are the main factors here? What are the ideal holds? Where's your big contested site?
B is kind of the fortress on this map. It's the one that everyone really needs, because it's obviously a jumping off point. It's the most central flag. Obviously, the building at B, the main building, the grey building, everyone has different names for it. That is the key building on this map. It is just a very, very dangerous one to leave in the hands of your opponent. You will see a lot of rocket launchers coming in on it usually, and that's to open up the staircase, because a lot of players, as has been demonstrated now, well, he's ran by it. Oh, he was in such a great position at the time I was talking. You
almost made you sound smart. It was beautiful.
Almost.
It was beautiful. I was so proud.
And it dominates, because you can only see the head and he can see far more, so it's a very, very important position. But you see rocket launchers coming in, just opening it up so your legs can be blown away basically, and you'll see that on the A flags and on the C buildings as well. But yeah, you'll see a lot of the fighting's going on over B and C, especially at C, but that's because the spawns behind C are so regular. Just as you see right now, two people spawning in, that is going to be a regular occurrence on that C flag. Even if you have someone on top of C, they're going to spawn on top of that.
Yeah, so C being the more converted one, I can imagine. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. Where's your money on this? Did you previously predict? Did you go for PyRoGEN or named? Where are you going?
Yeah, I'll go with PyRoGEN. I think maybe they might have an edge here, but I'm sure I'm going to get a load of angry messages from people like, I can't believe you thought these guys are going to win. Oh,
you don't know anything.
Dog,
God.
You don't know anything. Terrible.
God, hashtag fire dog, but no, I'll go for name just to play devil's advocate. The way they played on the first map was absolutely phenomenal, but as you mentioned, when it got to Zavod, they just kind of got outplayed. But I'm wondering if their brute force style may be able to convert this one if they, manage to kind of lock down that rooftop game that this can sometimes come down to. Now, look at the spawns here. Obviously, the Russian side around the back of that C site. Where do you expect to see these guys going towards? What are the sites they will be going, okay, these are the ones we need?
From Name's point of view, they have pretty much three approaches. They can push out onto that B flag straight through the middle of the road, or they can go for A, or they can do a split push, go for A and push C. A lot of teams, some teams, especially the Epsilons, they just bum rush that C flag. They just run at it. They know that they're not going to get a flag straight off the bat. They just try and make the game very fluid. From what their worry is, PyRoGEN are going to capture that C and B and turn it into a very static game where they will basically suffer quite heavy. So they might want to either a very strong start and push that C, or they'll play a very cautious game and try and push B.
Well, we can only find out now, because obviously on the Russian side, it will be PyRoGEN. On the Chinese side, it's going to be named. It does seem as though the Russians are heading straight across that road. You can see those rocket launchers just flying in towards them, and it will be B being converted over towards PyRoGEN, holding on to C. But the rooftop game, as you mentioned, currently being picked up by name there. Marion has brute forced his way up there, taking down one, now looking straight over towards C, getting up on that roof. That is some brilliant position. That's going to really put a little bit of a question mark as to where he is towards the opponent. It finally does get worked out, but picks up the kill onto Melisium quite easily and should get the convert there. So nice little starting outplay from Named if they can lock down this side. Terra now, the last man really alive on here. Flash is in that grey building waiting to be challenged. A little bit of fire. Melisium, just about making it away from that spawn alive, but very, very fast-paced game straight away.
Yeah, PyRoGEN using the outflanking field really and just go around the back of A. And this is really awkward for Name because they've got the buildings at A, but they don't have the flag. So they're going to have to come off that quite a lot. And if PyRoGEN just want to avoid it now, full domination cap from them, they can just go back to that B and C hold. But they've already done the damage, forcing Name back onto a flag that really they shouldn't have lost in the first place.
Yeah, and that was a very important kill up there onto that A roof. Does actually make the opponents of Named actually pick up the flag there. So we are seeing the likes of Zero falling back towards that B defense. See if they can create a little bit of a crossfire, hold the line, but they are breaking through on the main street. For the opponents, Named are just, as you mentioned before, brute forcing around this map at the moment. They have got C going their way. They have got A, but now it's all about that spawn. As you mentioned, that random spawn coming around the back of C means that two players now coming in for the PyRoGEN side get absolutely mowed down by Terra. So C will stay in their hands. But A, can they hold on to it?
Well, they've got the bleed for the first time in the game, and more than just a bleed, they've got a full domination cap. They are evening up what was quite a close game. Right now, PyRoGEN only have one guy far forward, and he gets taken down. And now this is a really dangerous situation for PyRoGEN, because if they could get locked into this top half of the map, then they are going to suffer heavily. That's a good spawn for PyRoGEN, but it does give them only one chance to go for a flag, and that's A. And this is pretty much going to alert Name to exactly where their spawn is.
Yeah, Marion now makes his way away from that side where you said they were spawning, correct to be saying so, and they're now a little bit more cautious of that A back of C hold. We are seeing the push beginning. Melisium's picked up one already. They are making their move towards the site. Melisium tucked in there, checking across towards the score, spotting out two players, but fairly nonchalant towards the players that were right behind him. Flash, although, is pushing up, picking up one, goes for the second, does not pick it up straight away. This is troublesome. Marion now does finally fall to Flash, and they will be able to break through there, so maybe able to get the respawns and get that C site, but the action is going down by A.
Yeah, and if they lose this A flag, luckily for PyRoGEN, they still have control of one of the buildings. This is key because you can never feel quite safe on A without building control. But right now you can see PyRoGEN are using that fight at A to capture B.
Yeah, they certainly are. So Pavic's still present, but as you mentioned, PyRoGEN heading across Laszlo, they're just blowing up everything he can. Going to be trying to give as much of a even playing field, and doesn't get any obviously hits on that one, but he does manage to get the sight into his hands. The nades are raining in. Super does pick that one up, and now Terra picking up the mantle, looking for a way through here, trying to get up onto that box, peering over the wall. Nice little peek there actually on towards those buildings, completely ignoring the fact of the three men respawning to his right. Finally becomes rather aware of it, and C already is in the hands of Pyro, but they are left towards that one side of the road with only one sight.
Yeah, welcome to Golmud Railway. It's never, ever a dominant victory for any team. It seems to be a seesaw all the time. The only time you ever really have to be worried is when you're stuck on the top side of the map and kind of locked in there. But That almost happened actually against PyRoGEN, but they broke out quite early, got a nice spawn on the far left side of the map, and that saved them dearly. But right now you can kind of see how Name are spreading out. They lock down the outside of B. At the same time, they can jump into that B flag whenever they need it. And right now, PyRoGEN need to be very careful.
Yeah, Name now pushing around the flank. That's Marion. They're picking up Laszlo on that right side as they crossed over the road. And as you mentioned, B, not the easiest side to get in towards. And look at this positioning coming from Marion. Lovely little kill. Gets in, gets out. Careful of the respawns around the back of that C side. Goes back in for Hexes. Beautiful play there. Absolutely dominating. And now getting a little bit aggressive, fancying his chances, getting right to their faces. Can he get the follow-up? Yes, he can. This is stunning stuff. Marion is absolutely ripping these guys to shreds. And I think you were wrong to doubt these guys. I think my money's in a good place because only 65 tickets remaining with PyRoGEN on this first half. Finally, it will be a fallen Mariam there, but Melisium finally broke through, but to what extent? They barely got across the street, and this spells real trouble for Pyro.
Yeah, Name were playing a very, very deep defense on both, on the B flag especially, and it's paying dividends right now. They took a lot of tickets off PyRoGEN, so even if PyRoGEN can stabilize this game, those are significant tickets they just lost. So PyRoGEN really just need to get that B flag back. That is the only flag they need worried about right now.
Yeah, finally Zero's picked. It was Melisium actually prone down there in a great position, just constantly pressuring that B side. But Terra coming in, nice little mop up from him, finds Zero and does manage to convert that site. So now A being the main target of focus. We are seeing the respawns for Pyro once again over by that C site. Maybe not as bad as the back C spawn, but still they're not getting any breaks on these spawns. And already Jesus is watching these guys cross, getting the spots out, waiting for the perfect position. Really well played on the discipline front. They're not just challenging immediately, finding the ideal position. He knows that Flash is still alive on this site somewhere. Can he find his way through? I think he's just completely missed this guy. Oh, he's going to be punished for that one, sadly. But nice play, but that's the final breakthrough. But immediately, it seems though Named have an answer.
Yeah, and that's the problem. As soon as someone has A and B, you got to go on the attack. And as soon as you go on the attack, you pretty much overextend and see, because of how regular the spawns are, it's a flag, it's always under pressure. It's never safe. It's always going to be under attack. And that's why as soon as you're attacking that AB, you're always going to have to look over your shoulder. But right now they have the bleed, but they are significantly far behind on tickets.
Yeah, they certainly are. And we have seen that back respawn coming in for Named. Jesus, however, immediately focusing towards the buildings rather than the site. Going to back away from that one as Marion did go down. Try and get the convert on towards that C site. He's got two players pushing towards him. A is being contested. That's been won over by the PyRoGEN side. But there's only 34 tickets for them remaining. As we mentioned, Nade coming through, just forcing the players away. But it has given away position. Laszlo pushes around the side. Only one respawn comes through. And this seems like this is a big hold coming out from PyRoGEN at the very last second. However, Marion already converting that B site.
Yeah, really difficult one to hold though, and that's the issue here. They can do it, and the buildings for A and C are still standing, the ones they need at least. I said they're still standing, they're in rubble, but they're difficult when you've got people around and in them.
Yep.
They're just not easy to get through. But right now, this is not looking good with that many tickets. You just have to... C is so easy to break through. And there you go. Easy breakthrough for Jesus. He's got that flag. And at the same time, they're also pushing on A. So that's a wipe. PyRoGEN just got took out completely. They got their spawn up at C, but there's no way they're going to be able to get back on B or A.
Yeah, Marion then literally being a bit of a John Rambo, doing so much damage, but Terror is pretty much the last standing bastion on that B side. He does get taken down. Pavik now being the linchpin of this one has to be careful, but they do have that trip cap. They are losing out on C, no surprise there, but they do have two players present to contest it as well. They're not giving away any of this one. B being the weakest point, but they know they can lock down that C section, leave Pavik to be the important player, and Pyro really struggling for an answer here. I don't know if they've broken through yet. Finally, Hexus is on that C side, but it really is almost too little too late. But they do have B, but still, 9 tickets. It's not been a great map for Pyro so far.
No, it started off quite well, but it went bad quite quickly. And from then on out, Name have really just had control. As soon as Name got a hold of B, it's been nothing but a downward spiral for the PyRoGEN guys. And they're just not being able to make much pressure on this B flag at all. They've been shut down hard so many times.
Yeah, and Terra now has all of his cover removed, but they still have the point in hand, so they do not really care about that. The trip cap almost happening now. Terra does finally fall, and that means it's been an absolute monster this game, and there's no saving this one. 66 tickets left for Named, and that is massive, actually. That's more than they had to be able to make that first map work, and that's the biggest lead we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's really dangerous as well because this map can go back and forth quite quickly. So if PyroGen want to win this, they're going to have to come out. They've got the harder side as well. So that's what's going to be the big issue for them. First off, straight away, the bleed is going to go in Name's hand in the next round. And I don't know. They were outfragged quite heavy by the Name squad. They just seemed to get all the kills.
Yeah, it was not a pretty picture. You can look at the scoreboard right in front of you guys. 17-9 for Terra, Super down on 14-9, 12-7, every single one of them positive. And Marion, he was the one to open up these sites pretty much on his own on occasion, 19-13. Beautiful play from that team. Flash, played very well as well individually, but none of them able to break positive here. Just being overwhelmed by that brute force, as we mentioned, being such a key factor at times for these guys. And it working on this map because I guess Pyro never really got those roofs under control.
Yeah, well, the roofs disappeared quite
What
quickly.
roofs, yeah.
Yeah, Flashor and Lysium were doing really good as a tag team, especially on that C flag, and they did really well. But the rest of the team just couldn't keep it up, and that's where the Name guys seem to just be superior, maybe in their individual skill, where maybe PyroGen are relying too much on those two players to pull it in for them.
Well, we'll see if that comes true again. We already see that rocket launcher in the hands of Flash there, so I can imagine they're going to be trying to get those, the roofs away from the opponent. So interesting to see how these guys play this one out. And well, I'm kind of surprised that Pyro just really didn't get into that game then at all, and they just struggled straight away. It was very different from the last map that we saw. They looked absolutely dominant on. So we will be going live in just a moment's time, but I have to keep my eyes on this man Marion. Oh, you can see a little kitty on that guy's shot. Oh, simple things for a simple mind. But guys, let's once again remember, if PyroGen on the Chinese side, i.e. the red side on the right side of your screen, drop below 68 tickets, that means they are out of this one and Named have broken through, as this is the deciding map. And what sort of start have these guys gone for here?
Pretty standard one for both teams, but you can see a more heavy emphasis on that C side. 4 people now on C. So you can see there's that kind of bum rush style on that C flag. They know that they're not going to get A off a bat, so they're just going to try and overwhelm C. And now it's really down to Name. Do they want to keep playing, defend that C flag, or do they want the A and B hold, really?
Well, we can only find out. You can see the spam coming in from Super. They're trying to challenge out on the C side, but he is drastically overwhelmed. We do see 3 players there. They have converted. They are now splitting over towards A. Hexus has gone down, however, so there's still a little bit of hope for Name to hold on to this one, but Flash lays down the fire. Nice little pick up then, and they should be able to secure this one, at least for now. We are seeing a 2-1 hold currently in favour to that Pyro team, but it seems that B is still such an easy one to convert off the back of, so we'll see if they can break out from this. Pavik not finding a way out of that grey building there. Zero is looking for his way through, picking up one as he pushes out of there, and we are seeing possibly a 2-1 hold again. This could be quite close to a trip cap. No, excuse me, Super has got himself at least towards A.
Yeah, and you can see, once again, PyroGen putting a lot of effort onto that B flag and still getting wiped. And this is where it does start to get a little bit risky, because if they keep going for this B flag like they are, and they keep getting wiped like that, they need to change their tactics up quick. They don't have much leeway right now.
No, they certainly don't. A is the side that's got the attention of at least one player coming in from the PyroGen side. Going to convert that one over, so keeping it a 2-1 hold. But B, once again, left into the hands of Name. Can they break through? 2 players now make it 3 converging onto this site, as only Marion stands there, finding 1. But this could really spell trouble. Let's see if Jesus can do anything here, as he has left as pretty much the last standing Bastion. He gets taken down on the rotate. C will be taken over towards Name, but it seems as though it's a little bit of a consolation prize, as Marion already breaking through and finding his way out of there. Super does get the nade through, doesn't get the connection he wanted. He takes him low, but does not get into hands, and this is going to be a trip cap coming out for Team PyroGen.
Yeah, and a deserved one. They took a few risks to go for this. It paid off, but at the same time, they might be stretched a little bit too thinly here. If one of these one-on-ones goes against them, they're going to find themselves with 2 flags away from them. But they're going to lose C. Not a concern, but what they need to do is finish off Terra in A, because if he can manage to spawn more people off, this A flag is very vulnerable.
Yeah, and already Jesus has spawned in, but he's going to be laying down the fire. Melicium does manage to find him. Zero is coming in back up, and we are saying it is the battle of the roofs almost, and right now we are seeing these guys kind of struggling at the moment to break out of here. Let's see if anyone does manage to challenge. It is Laszlo exchanging there, doesn't get the breakthrough he wanted. Zero trying to pick up the mantle, spots out Terra, gets the tag, not the frag, and B still being contested, finally being converted converted over towards Team PyRoGEN. So no luck in the draw there going out for the opposition of Named, but have they got the A site in hand? I think they do, at least for now. But looking at the players just present within these like school building ruins between A and B, and straight away Zero just goes in for A.
Yeah, I think Name are pretty much not going to go for that B flag unless they can get a good one-on-one or just overwhelm it. And right now, they seem to be quite happy with this C and A, and they can hold the A flag as long as they keep people in that house. They're not going to overcommit to it too much. My worry is that PyRoGEN do, but they put too many people on this A flag, and it all goes wrong at B.
Well, let's find out if that comes true. We do see two players already making sure they're getting over towards that A site. Jesus, laying down the nades there, does manage to get himself in towards the building. So at least secure for now, but there are two players now immediately trying to take back that A site, make it 3. This is going to be a big site of contention. Let's say it's exchanging. It does seem as though Named are winning this one for now, but let's see if they can hold on to it. Jesus going on the rotate, finds down Melisium, does not manage to take him down. This should be going over into the way of PyRoGEN. But at the moment, not sure who's going to really come out the better here, because Pavic's still standing, pushes in, but the respawn's going for Pyro, and they do get that 2-1 hold.
That's what they wanted, because they also managed to bully their way onto that C flag right now, so they have a chance to get a full domination cap here, and they really need to do the best they can. That ticket lead from a previous round, I think it was 66 tickets, so they have a lot to get away with, really, and right now, they can do it. They just need to play smart and hold this A and B as long as they can.
Well, let's see if they can do it. As you mentioned, AB being held, there's no easy breakthrough here. They are holding that B road, and any player trying to get across that road is being absolutely decimated. Zero has got himself in an interesting position, locking down the roofs, finds Pavic, so they should be able to hold on to this for at least now. He's got a little bit of an inkling. There may be another player pushing up soon, and he is right to be feeling so, but the respawn's coming in pretty strong for the A take here for Name, so at least they should be getting a 2-1 if they can hold on to C and actually convert this side. But immediately, two players coming from that B side from Pyro.
Yeah, PyRoGEN need to pick this up quite quickly. I mean, they have the ticket lead in this round. It is quite good for them right now, but a lot of these fights are pretty much nail biters. It can go either way, and there's the one that went against them, and now B is wide open if Name want to take it. And at the same time, this fight, oh my god, that's a complete wipe at C as well. And right now, PyRoGEN can only really reinforce this B flag, and it's not looking good for them right now.
No, it's not. Flash and one other, I believe Melisium are present there, but we do see Laszlo over towards the C side, just getting picked up by Jesus. No easy luck there. Melisium is immediately looking for the takeover on towards the A site, however, but there are 3 players from the opponent laying in wait here, so it's not going to be an easy one, and they might actually give up B if they're not careful, but there we go. Finally, the shots do come in. Marion there is laying in wait, just laying down the fire. He does get the tag onto Zero, follows it up with the kill, so they are holding on to B, they are holding on to C, and now they're a little bit locked in because Super already going for the convert on towards that B site as well.
Yeah, and right now, this is exactly what Name want. They've wrestled control away from PyRoGEN. They've got the bleed against them, and they didn't just do what they want right now. And there's a big kill on B as well. There's no one on B right now. Both teams are probably going to scramble to get people out as quick as possible, and now it all comes down to this B flag.
Well, let's find out. Marion in a fantastic position, spotting out 2 players, finds one. He knows there's going to be another here. 84 tickets. Let's burn Ball. Beautiful retake coming in from Named. I was going to make a point, but I can shut the hell up because right now they have smashed through on B. They should be able to get across here. However, the opponents of Pyro are making their way across the street fairly uncontested, so they might be able to get back in, but those tickets are getting dangerously low. 68 is the big number in the minds of PyRoGEN right now, and there's no easy way back into this one, and those tickets are getting very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and the way PyRoGEN are attacking now is just in a big rush, in a big group, and just go in. The problem with that is it leaves them open to their flags being captured, and you can see that already. You see Name instantly on that C flag. They don't mind losing A. They're just playing the bleed game right now, and this isn't a game PyRoGEN can play. They need to be controlling the map across the board, and it's not happening.
No, indeed. We are seeing a 2-2 split going out. 2 down towards that C side. It looks like Laszlo got found up there. Super has prone down, does manage to avoid the Ice Ice Terror. Will pick up the opponents. They should be able to lock this one out, but B going the other way. Pyro might be able to hold this one down, but 68 tickets right now. It seems as though this will be swinging in favor to Named. 67, there's the marker we were waiting on. And that was a close one, I've got to say, but Named just looked a little bit stronger in the first half of this map, I feel.
Yeah, Name just seemed to... The first round, definitely.
Yep.
As soon as they were able to get a hold... And it was the A-B one that was so significant. The way they played quite deep on that flag really, really hurt PyRoGEN. They tried to come forward. They were getting picked off. They took too long to get into that B flag. They got flanked. And then from then on out, they had to reset, come in again, and by that time, the tickets had already gone away, and name looking strong.
Yeah, they really are looking very good in this one. I'm quite surprised because PyRoGEN, at the very start of this tournament, always had a little bit of a question mark around their performance, how they're going to do and how they're going to kind of carry on and what we can see from them. But there, they look as though they are struggling a little bit, and now it's all down to the bracket and how this one plays out pretty much for those guys to see if they can actually stay in this tournament. So we'll be checking up on that later. But guys, we're going to go to a very quick break, and when we're back, we're going to have the very next game. Back in a sec.
Peggy 18.
越王勾践卧薪尝胆，最后灭了吴国。这么多年来，给他们造玩具、鞋子，甚至他们的国旗，一边忍受他们的傲慢，一边等待时机。现在，时机终于到了。让他们见识我们民族的伟大。